What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. This is our PGA DFS pick show for the 2021 Valspar Championship. But before we get to that, Craig, quick recap of our picks for the team event in New Orleans. We only had 4, 2 each. 2 made the cuts. It was a tough week. It was a bloodbath out there for made cuts. But Ustays and Swartzel, our South Africans, did well at second in that playoff loss. And Hooch and Goma did pretty good with the T17.
Yeah, except it was Homa and Gooch, not Hooch and Goma. But yes, they did decently.
Same. If you're actually looking for a recap of the Zurich Classic, our podcast link is below. We talk about team events, we talk about Olympics, we talk about Zurich Classic, all that good stuff. Download our podcast. The links are below. But I do have to give a shout out to Colm Brown on our pick show last week. He picked the Aussies in the comments. He went with Mark Leishman and Cam Smith for the win. He got the winners.
Attaboy, Colm. Well done.
Attaboy, Colm.
Yeah, so pay attention down below to all those comments because there might be a gem in there.
There's a gem in there. And make sure to have your pick to win the Valspar in the comments for this one.
Yeah, if you don't know how we do it, we do our sleepers below 7,500, everyone else above 7,500 in this video. So, if you want someone really low to win, put them in there. But if not, your pick to win. Your
pick to win. Okay, Craig, back to kind of normal stroke play here. We're going to do 3 picks each. Should we jump into it?
Yeah, you're up.
Okay, I'm up. Abraham Ancer is my first one here. 9,300 on DraftKings. He ranks 10th. On FanDuel, he's 11,000. He ranks 9th. I just, when I was building rosters this morning, Monday morning when salaries came out, I really liked kind of just starting at Abraham Ancer and kind of doing a balanced lineup. That does mean that DJ, JT, Patrick Reed, they need to miss. I get that. But I think these guys, there's a good group of guys here that I think have a pretty good win equity, and I think Abraham Ancer is one of those. So he comes in with really good, but not great form. So he has 5 consecutive top 30s. It would be top 25s, except for his penalty at the Masters, which put him to the T26, but it's top 30s with that. But he doesn't have any top 10s. So he's right in that kind of, 16 to 26 range for the last 5 tournaments. He seems to be stuck there. But I feel like he's due for a breakthrough. I feel like it's leading to good things in the future. He has played this course once, Copperhead. He was 16th in 2018. I feel like he is a different player since then. But in that one tournament, he was plus 2.15 strokes gained tee to green per round and minus 0.6 strokes gained putting. So he had a really good tournament from tee to green. He just didn't really come through with his putter. So if he can improve on that even a little bit, I feel like the course sets up well for him. And looking at his accuracy, I think it's clear why. Something I'm definitely taking a longer look at for this tournament. More accuracy, more greens in regulation, that type of player for Copperhead. So he ranks 3rd in driving accuracy at 72% and 13th in greens in regulation at 70%. This is on the PGA Tour for everyone in the PGA, not just the field. So very, very, very elite stats for accuracy.
Yeah, I do think it's encouraging. He is a good putter. So I do think it's encouraging that when he was 16th here last time, it wasn't because he just had a good putting week. I do struggle a little bit with Ancer because he has shown that he's playing good but not great. And so if you're going to start with him, then I think potentially then do you put, you just look for value everywhere, or do you maybe take some higher upside guys down low? I don't quite know, but I do think he could pop through at any point here and get a win. But yeah, I'm going to change things up a bit from you because I am an advocate of starting at the top this week. My first pick, I'm going right to the top. JT, Justin Thomas, 10,700 on DraftKings. I think that might be 11. Can you check that price for me?
I'll check. I'll check.
12,300 on FanDuel. He's first on both. I know that much for sure. So obviously he's the highest priced guy. Why do I like it?
It's not even kind of close. He's 11,500, but he ranks first.
Basically. He ranks first.
If you're plugging in JT, he ranks first.
Yeah. So essentially, I think he is first. Like he's the top person, I think, in this field from a DFS point of view, and I think there's a decent margin. So we look at what he's done, strokes gained total. As always, he's a per data golf, which incorporates all the different tours together. Last 3 months, he's 3rd behind a very hot Paul Casey and Corey Connors. So that's not unexpected. Once we start to get into longer term form, we see other people fall off. 6 months, he's gaining 2.22 strokes around. He's first there. 12 months, DJ just barely jumps in front of him, even though his strokes gain's the same. And then 2 years, JT gets DJ by a few decimal places, a few tenths of a stroke. He's first strokes gained total over the last 2 years. But I think further than that, say comparing just him and DJ, I think JT suits this course better. So he's elite fairway to green. So what do I mean by that? Essentially take tee to green and take away the tee. His putting has been better in the 2021 season, but I think he's underrated in terms of his short game. We always talk about how good his approach play is, but around the green, he is awesome. So if you take his approach and around the green play, he is almost a half stroke better than anyone else in this field. So over the course of the week, just on those things, he's gaining at least 2 strokes on everyone in the field, playing to the averages. On top of this, he is first in the Grandstand Golf model, which, obviously he's first in pricing, so that's not entirely surprising. But he's first by a pretty good margin. So he's got 1.44 strokes gained there. Patrick Reed is second, way back at 1.16, and then we kind of get a traffic jam. We've got Chris Kirk, Terrell Hatton, DJ, all just above 1 stroke. So he's a healthy margin out in front, and I think that's why I'm going to be heavy on JT this week. So course history, bit of a mixed bag. It isn't really affecting my pick here, but just I know people are interested in that kind of thing. He's got 3 starts, a tied for 10th, a tied for 18th, and a missed cut. Now, that's when JT wasn't the best, or one of the best players in the world.
2015 to 2017.
It was on during his breakout.
I mean, for a guy like JT, it's more the fact that he's not coming for the first time. It's going to be tough building rosters. JT, I mean, I like DJ as well. He played well here last time, especially Thursday to Saturday. Fell off a little bit Sunday. I don't think when we're talking about DJ, I don't think there's any course that when he's on his game, the game that we've seen in the past 6 months, there's no course that is not a fit for him. Like, he's just that much of a freak. But is he out of form enough that JT becomes the clear favorite? I don't know. And I'll have to struggle to see how it fits into rosters there a little bit. But I'll have JT in some kind of form or fashion. I just don't know how.
Just saying, I think I might have in more than just some kind of form or fashion. I think it might be a bit of a heavy JT week. Tune in Wednesday to find out.
It will be absurd, I'm sure. Okay, my second pick here, Sungjae Im. I'm going back to Sungjae here. 9,200 on DraftKings. He ranks 11th, 10,900 on FanDuel. He's 10th there. Pairing with Ancer, I feel like gives you 2 guys that aren't in great form, but could easily pop off for a win, as much as those kind of elite guys in the field that you mentioned. So last 8 events, he does have a top 10, 5 top 25s, a pretty good ratio of top 25s there, kind of like Ancer. He does have a miscut that was at the Masters, so that's kind of excused. Again, his one and only start here is pretty great. He was 4th in 2019, last time this was held, plus 2.16 strokes gained tee to green per round, and then plus 0.3 strokes gained putting per round. So again, he was elite tee to green, just didn't have the best strokes gained putting. And we know he's a great putter. So his ranks the past 3 months, and this is 9 events because Sungjae seems to play every week or every other week. He ranks first in the field in strokes gained off the tee. Again, this is data golf, like you mentioned, at 1.05, and he is 3rd in strokes gained putting at 1.15. The concern with Sungjae is if you look at those stats, his strokes gained approach seems to be on this downward trend. His greens in regulation are still really good, but the strokes gained approach seems to be kind of just trickling down a little bit. And there's definitely cause for concern there when you're paying for the 11th highest price guy that the strokes gained approach isn't elite, at least like top 20. And it's not right now. So that's the one kind of red flag with Sungjae, but I know he's a grinder. I know he's going to be working on that. If he doesn't turn it around here, he's going to turn it around soon. And I'll probably continue to ride him until he does, because he can make it up in other parts of his game. But once he kind of gets back to at least where he has been before, then he's going to start winning tournaments, I feel like.
Yeah, so I was just talking to you before we started the show here and saying that I think I might try to approach it with a smaller player pool this week. And a guy like Sungjae is going to be one of those ones I'm going to have a very tough decision on, because he has been, similar to Ancer. He's been good, but not great in his results over the past little while. So, do you then take the course correction that this is, he's due, or do you say, I need to see it first? And I just haven't fully decided that yet on Sungjae.
Yeah.
Okay, one guy I have decided on is Corey Connors. So 9,600, this price is right. He's 7th ranked on DraftKings, 11,300. He's 6th on FanDuel. He's getting pricey. Now we've seen Corey Connors rise up the slate in terms of where he's being priced. But essentially, I'm just saying I still like him. So, I think we've been picking him a lot, both of us at different times over the past few months, but with good reason. Last 3 months, he's 2nd strokes gained total, 1.96. He's still 3rd when we look at 6 months. 12 months, he's 8th, 1.45. 2 years, 1.14, 12th in pricing. Now, remember that last one, that 12th in pricing, because I'm going to come back to that. But 2 years for him, we're thinking, okay, it's not great value for where he's priced. Obviously, the recent form shows that it is. So what has he done recently? Last 15 starts, single miscut. Love that. 12 top 25. So he has been very good, but then he also has been great, I would say. He doesn't have a win, but he's got 7 top 10, so 50% of the time he's getting a top 10. Now, that includes 2 straight coming into this tournament, and that's in stroke play events. I should say this is, I've excluded match play. So his last 15 starts, I didn't account for that in there. But his best finish over that time was 3rd at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. I know everyone remembers Bryson and Lee Westwood, but Corey Connors was right in the thick of that one too. So the real thing that I think I'm coming around on is, has Corey Connors answered the putting question? So this is something, maybe further back in the fall or early in 2021, we were like, man, if Corey Connors can just figure out his putting, then this guy's an all-star. This guy is very, very, we don't really know what his ceiling is if he figures that out. So, maybe he has. So he has gone to cross-handed, left-hand low putting grip, and it seems to be doing wonders. He's positive 0.33 strokes gained putt over the last 6 months. So if you think about the 2 years that I had mentioned earlier, he was 1.14 strokes gained.
Right.
He was 1.35 tee to green in those 2 years. So he was gaining more than that. He was 6th tee to green. So if he's adding with his putting, then it's kind of scary to see where he is going to be in the long term. And you know what? Looking at it much more recently, he only has 2 tournaments where he's finished negative strokes gained putting over the course of the whole tournament. He does have rounds where he has been negative, but then he's come back with positive ones. That was the one miscut he had, and then at the Farmers, it was the Farmers and the miscut. I forget. It was Genesis. He was one of those ones. Genesis was one of those brutal cuts where we had a whole bunch of people right on the cut line.
And plus and 2 or something.
And it went to the one that caused him to miss the cut. But that was one of his weak putting weeks. The other one, it was his other one where he wasn't in the top 25. So essentially, I think the needle still is pointing a little bit up for me with Corey Connors.
It's a little bit sad when you remember the exact cut number for tournaments that happened a couple of months ago, but that's how much sometimes it stings. It does seem to be like this narrative, like Victor Hovland and chipping, that seems to be well expired kind of with Corey Connors. 6 months is a lot of data to be like, he's turning things around and he's positive now. I mean, there's the ongoing joke of like, great tee to green game, but can't putt. But I think you're kind of showing that with those stats, that this has been a kind of a long trend. It's not just popping for tournaments here and there. This is a long trend of him having the complete game,
which is exciting as Canadians that love to always cheer for Corey Connors.
Exciting. It's super exciting. Like, the ceiling is super high. Corey Connors, chalk. That's what I want to talk about. The one thing I would say to that is he was 6,900, I think, for the Masters. He's going to be uber chalky because he was great coming in, great form, hitting the ball well. He was chalky, and he was still in the winning lineup, I think, for $1 million or whatever it was at his ownership. So you can have chalky guys like Corey Connors, but you just have to be different in other places.
Yeah, I think he was my sleeper pick. He was one of our sleeper picks going into that week. But I remember Connors and Zalatoris were 2 sleepers, and
they're yours.
And it was a little bit, are they chalky? Sometimes it doesn't matter. Like, sometimes you just have to look at the value and be like, I'll get the good combinations with these guys. I think they're really good value. Now, his price has gone up, so maybe his ownership comes down a bit, but I'm still going to be buying.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, my third and final pick. I don't think it's going to be chalky here. This is one I feel like is going to give me a little bit contrarian, but Lucas Glover is who I'm picking at 7,700. He's 29th, 9,600 on FanDuel. He's 26th there. So Glover comes in with 6 straight made cuts, including a 4th at the Texas Open. So pretty good form for him. How has he played kind of this tournament before? Well, he actually has the most starts here, I think, of anyone in PGA Tour history. I tried to cover all the bases, but from what I could tell, he has the most starts here of anyone in PGA Tour history. So he knows the course. 16 times he's been here. He's missed a few cuts, but he does have 6 top 25s, including 2 top 20s in his last 3. His total strokes average in that time is 0.76 per round. So he plays this course a lot. He plays it really well. I don't think he'd come back every year if he didn't like this course. So I think that just shows he's comfortable here and he likes the course. So recently he's been playing pretty good. He ranks 22nd in strokes gained tee to green at plus 0.84 in the past 6 months. So compared to his 29th price tag, 22nd is above that, and that's just value. And here's the big one with Lucas Glover. He's kind of like that mole of the ball striker, but can't get it done on the greens. He is positive strokes gained putting in 5 straight events. So you can go, our DFS model, which we've talked about, is in a link below. You can go see kind of their previous events and how they've done in each strokes gained category. He's positive in 5 straight events. And this is the first time he's done that since 2019-2020 kind of wraparound season. So it's been a long time that his putter has been good or decent for this long. So I feel like Lucas Glover is not someone that people, Kevin Kisner's right there. There's other names right there that I think people will go to. I think Lucas Glover is kind of a sneaky top 20, can push into that top 10 and have very, very, very low ownership.
Yeah, when I was doing my research for more value guys down in mid 7K range, Glover was coming up with very good recent form. It may seem like one of these ones that doesn't seem to make a ton of sense. Lucas Glover, like maybe he's a little bit washed out, or a little bit past his prime, maybe.
Totally.
But sometimes you got to, Stuart Sink comes along. It looked like he was past his prime, and he's got 2 wins now in the last year. I don't know for sure if I'm getting there, but I definitely like a lot of the things he's doing, and it's going to be a tough one. If I don't get there, he's going to be a tough cut from the pool.
I think the other thing too is, U.S. Open champion. We talked about on our tournament preview show, the winning scores haven't been that high. That just kind of seems to be kind of I don't know if that's
tougher course, plays well better at tougher courses.
If you can win a U.S. Open, you can play tough courses. You can top 10 at that -3 number instead of top 10ing at that -17 number. What's the birdie race? You know?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. He definitely has enough starts that you can take a bit of a history from them too.
Yeah.
Okay, my last one here. I'm going, playing the hits. Chris Kirk, another guy that I feel like I just keep beating the drum on, but I'm going to continue to have heavy ownership of him. 8,200 on DraftKings, 21st in pricing, 9,900 on FanDuel, 20th in pricing. You look at what he's done recently. Strokes gained total stats, last 3 months he's 12th, last 6 months he's 12th, 12 months even he starts to look at about the range that he should be, 25th, but I think he's just shown so much form in the last half year that he's deserving to start moving up this slate, and I'm going to continue to play the value that I see there. It's a little bit harder, I think, with a Chris Kirk than some of these other guys where you point to one thing that they do really well and you're like, oh man, like this guy's the best on approach. This guy, his putter is awesome. Whatever it is, he does everything well, and it makes it a little bit harder to characterize why he is such good value other than, looking at his strokes gained total stats. But if you think about, there's 133 players in this field.
Right.
He's 32nd off the tee, 19th on approach, 11th around the green, 42nd putting. So his worst one is putting, and he's still in, the top 25% of players in the field. The top,
and how long 30% is this measurement?
Sorry, these are over. I believe this is 6 months. Okay. I can look that up and post below, but it's something like that, 6 months maybe. I just think that with these guys that are balanced like this, you don't have to avoid anything. It's not like I think Emiliano Grillo. You need to make sure he has the putter week. It could just be so hot or cold. I think you get a fairly safe floor with Chris Kirk, and he has shown upside. Like, first off, he's number one overall value in our DraftKings model. That one, I feel like I've said that a lot, but it bears saying again. But last 6 start, this is what I mean, where he's safe, but there's also upside. So he's got 16th, 8th, 48th. You wouldn't be happy with that one. 25th, 6th, 7th. So, we're getting awesome results from Chris Kirk, and we're just not seeing the price bump up as I think it should.
Yeah, I'm guessing in those last six starts, he's been value or return value at least 5 times. The 25th, maybe not, but I feel like he's been priced lower than those kind of rankings. So he has proven value. You're naming the hits, but they're hits for a reason. That's why, Connor is Kirk. I kind of also think of like Henley in this range is playing well, but like, why would you stray for them if they've returned well in the past?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Chris Kirk. It makes sense.
It gets a little boring putting him in this every week, but
it does.
What I try to do is identify the guys I'm going to like be heaviest on this week, and it's going to be Kirk again this week. So,
yeah, no, for sure. Well, that is our 6 picks. Our schedule for the week, our tournament preview and first look is already out on YouTube. Go check that out. Our model, as we've mentioned a few times, is live on our website for FanDuel and for DraftKings. Link is below. Sleeper Show will be dropping right away, probably already out by the time you're watching this. Our live show was super important for the Zurich. That's where we talked about a bunch of these guys who played pretty well. Our live show was Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We go through the entire field, answer questions using our model. Really good time. That's when we kind of talk about our entire player pool. And then, of course, our showdown shows where we're taking down GBPs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. When you get that weekend and you don't have many 6-6s, you got to turn your showdown, and that did pretty well for us last week.
Yeah, you got to find something to hang your hat on, and last week it worked out best.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Put your winner below or your favorite play over 7,500 on DraftKings. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit that thumbs up, and we'll catch you again soon.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Good luck this week.